You're a black woman. Who do you think you are, trying to be slim? Trying to be slim, trying to be white, trying to be white. That's right. Yep, I grew up listening to it. You're gonna be fat, just like your aunt. I'm not gonna say her name, but anyway. Oh my goodness. Okay, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this thing where, you know, we've got this stigma on us. And let me just start out by telling you, I have worked with women from Africa. I'm not talking 400 years ago, I'm talking about today, who have told me that they were not fat, and I've seen their pictures. They were not fat. They're from the developed parts of Africa. They did not get fat until they came to America. You can't get any blacker than that. They're from Africa, like right now from Africa. They come over here, they start eating American and processed food, they put on weight, and there goes the struggle. But I just want to tell you that, you know what, this, look at this bird in the background here. Anyway, you know what? It all starts with your mind. You know, how many of us, you know, even if we didn't grow up hearing that stuff, how many of us absorbed that stuff? You know, absorbed? You know, what kind of family dynamics do you have going on? You know, it doesn't even have to be your immediate family. It can be, you know, your aunts. It can be, you know, just attitudes that just exist in the atmosphere of the family where, you know, you just have this subtle programming that says, okay, now that I've put on the weight, because I'm a black woman, this is just the way I'm supposed to be. How many of you have been brainwashed and you think that you confuse bones with flesh, with fat tissue? That nobody has bones as big as the bones I had when I was almost 200 pounds, okay? I lay in bed for 3 years with arthritis. I'd been fit, you know, most of my life. I couldn't do anything. And I lost my fitness, and the weight just came on, and even though I was mainly eating the right foods, the depressions came. I would go on comfort eating, and not even binges, sometimes binges, but the depression of having an illness and not knowing how I was going to find my way out or find my way back. But you know something, you know, for those of you who have heard my miracle story about, you know, the how the juicer came into my life, you know that once I started juicing, that's when the magic happened. And you know, the deep nutrition that comes from organic celery, carrot, cucumber, ginger, all of it together brought my knees, my knee joints, you know, it regenerated my knee tissue cells and lubricated, you know, the tight muscles. I mean, lying there 3 years, and you know what? They say that revenge is the best, success is the best revenge, but it's like a good revenge, because I went through that and I shed that extra weight. You know, 173 pounds, that's close to 200, that is close. That's the biggest I've ever been in my life. Now, I could have believed, okay, well, you know what, I'm just gonna accept what they told me. You know, you're gonna grow up, who do you think you are? You're gonna grow up and be, you know, okay? You know, the juicer had those powerful effects, and I got up and I did what I could in little steps. Laying in my bed, laying on my side, doing side raises, and then, you know, standing up against the wall, holding onto the wall, doing, you know, side lifts, and then, you know, taking walks, and I just built it up from there. And the juicing, you know, it kept, you know, and setbacks after setback after setback after setback. And the weight would creep up, and then as soon as, you know, the next phase of healing, whatever I had to process through, some people say that there's a spiritual warfare thing, you know, when you try to succeed at something, And I just, God has given me the grace. It's not like, oh, I'm all that. I'm just, all that. And, oh, I did this and I did that. God has given me the grace to be able, to come back. And, you got to be, the mind. You have to decide, what am I going to do about my mind? What am I going to do? Even if I didn't consciously absorb these messages, whether it was in the household or whether it was just in the family DNA, if you will, what am I going to do about my mind? This attitude that I have to carry all this unhealthy weight and, the diabetes, the high blood pressure, and all those problems that come from that. No, that is not your birthright, to be unfit, unhealthy, unable to climb stairs, unable, to wear the nice things you want to wear. I mean, no, that's not your birthright, okay? So, get your perspective straightened out, and start with this. Start juicing, start blending, get those nutrients in that you're not getting from the processed junk that you're eating. Number 2, start moving. Even if it's just, if you can only do 5 minutes, if it's that bad, do the 5 minutes and stick with it. And build up to 10 minutes and build up to 30 minutes and then do it 4 to 5 times a week. The resistance training, don't worry about that right away. Don't worry about the resistance training because you need to build up your endurance. If your endurance is like at a snail's pace right now, then you need to do some building up with the building up of your endurance, and then from there you can go ahead and take it to the level of resistance training, because the muscle that you've lost because you've aged, because you've gotten older, your muscles they've shrunk, they've shortened, they've weakened, and without that muscle to burn off the fat to keep the metabolism higher where it was, that fat creeps on, and you need to build your metabolism, and build your muscle mass. And not like a man, you're not going to get big, don't worry. You need to do that, okay? And you need to set new values for yourself. Forget the family values. Tell those old family values where to go and how to get there, and I'm going to keep the language clean here. But, rearrange your values, your value system, so that you can stick with it. And, here I am, for those of you who know, what happened with the bowel obstruction story and all of that, I'm out here walking again. Now, I'm not walking at the pace I was walking before that whole hospital nightmare thing happened. I'm not. I'm sitting and taking a rest, and then I'm going to get up and I'm going to do some more. And I'm going to build up by the grace of God, the universe, whatever, belief system you have. I am relying on the grace of God. I'm grateful that I was able to go out and do some shopping, and I've made it halfway up this hill, and if I can't make it up the other half, then so be it. I'll do some more tomorrow or the next day. But those are some steps that you can take to get yourself out of that rut, that consciousness, that failure consciousness, that I'm supposed to be fat consciousness. Black women are supposed to be fat. Fat is sexy. If it's sexy, then why are women doing all these crazy things, to try to lose the weight, instead of doing it the right way, taking pills and whatnot? Or, why are they getting fatter and fatter and then getting sicker and sicker? Black women are the sickest people in the country. And we have to do something about that. What kind of example do you want to set for your daughters? Set for your nieces. Be the example. And love yourself. Love yourself. Honor that temple. And I'm going to go honor mine. Get that fat ass out of the chair and move. This is the message. Fat ass to fat ass. The former fatty. I was almost 200 pounds. And I did this, and I'm doing this, and as long as God gives me the grace to keep moving, to keep exercising, to keep coming back from setbacks, as long as He does that, I'm going to keep going, and you do the same thing. Honor your temple. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye-bye. Honor your temple.